But through this interactive learning, they're learning math, writing, how to tell stories. And one of the things that you've done here in Decatur that's wonderful also is that you've combined kids from different income levels. You've got disabled kids all in the same classroom, so we're all learning together. And that, what that means is that all the kids are being leveled up, right? And you're not seeing some of that same stratification that you see that eventually leads to these massive achievement gaps. So before you know it, these kids are going to be moving on to bigger and better things in kindergarten. And they're going to be better prepared to succeed. And what's more, I don't think you'll find a working parent in America who wouldn't appreciate the peace of mind that their child is in a safe, high-quality learning environment every single day. You know, Michelle and I remember how tough it can be to find good child care. I remember how expensive it can be, too. The size of your paycheck, though, shouldn't determine your child's future. So let's fix this. Let's make sure none of our kids start out the race of life already a step behind. Let's make it a national priority to give every child access to a high-quality early education. Let's give our kids that chance. Now, I do have to warn the parents who are here who still have young kids. They grow up to be like 5'10", and even if they're still nice to you, they basically don't have a lot of time for you during the weekends. They have sleepovers and dates. So all that early investment just leads them to go away. Now, what I also said on Tuesday night is that our commitment to our kids' education has to continue throughout their academic lives. So from the time our kids start grade school, we need to equip them with the skills they need to compete in a high-tech economy. That's why we're working to recruit and train 100,000 new teachers in the fields of the future, in science and technology and engineering and math, where we are most likely to fall behind. We've got to redesign our high schools so that a diploma puts our kids on a path to a good job. You know, we want to reward schools that develop new partnerships with colleges and employers and create classes that focus on science and technology and engineering and math. All the things that can help our kids fill those jobs that are there right now, but also in the future. And obviously, once our kids graduate from high school, we've got to make sure that skyrocketing costs don't price middle-class families out of a higher education or saddle them with unsustainable debt. I mean, some of the younger teachers who are here, they've chosen a career path that is terrific, but let's face it, you know, you don't go into teaching to get rich. And it is very important that we make sure that they can afford to get a great education and can choose to be a teacher, can choose to be in a teaching profession. So we've worked to make college more affordable for millions of students and families already through tax credits and grants and loans that go farther than before. But taxpayers can't keep subsidizing ever-escalating price tags for higher education. At some point, you run out of money. So colleges have to do their part. And colleges that don't do enough to keep costs in check should get less federal support so that we're incentivizing colleges to think about how to keep their costs down. And just yesterday, we released what we're calling a new college scorecard that gives parents and students all the information they need to compare schools by value and affordability so that they can make the best choice. And any interested parent, by the way, who's out there, can check it out at whitehouse.gov. Now, in the end, that's what this is all about, giving our kids the best possible shot at life, equipping them with the skills, education that a 21st century economy demands, giving them every chance to go as far as their hard work and God-given potential will take them. That's not just going to make sure that they do well, that will strengthen our economy and our country for all of us. Because if their generation prospers, if they've got the skills they need to get a good job, that means businesses want to locate here. And it also means, by the way, they're well equipped as citizens with the critical thinking skills that they need in order to help guide our democracy. We'll all prosper that way. That's what we're fighting for. They're the ones who are going to write that next great chapter in the American story, and we've got to make sure that we're providing that investment. I'm so proud of every single teacher who was here who has dedicated their lives to making sure those kids get a good start in life. I want to make sure that I'm helping, and I want to make sure that the country is behind you every step of the way. All right? Thank you, everybody. God bless you. God bless America. Thank you.
And there's the president, as you've just seen, in Decatur, Georgia. One reason he may be in such a good mood is that he had a tour of a classroom, and with a group of 4- and 5-year-olds, he was seated around tables, according to the White House reporters traveling with him, and they had iPads. They were working on a game that he said sounded like I Spy. One of the kids said, "Are you our teacher?" Another said, "Welcome, Mr. President, and I've seen you on television." So the fact that the president spent a bit of today with a group of 4- and 5-year-olds in what seems to be a model program certainly improved his mood, and he's outside of Washington. And we'll be right back. First, though, some headlines. As we have been reporting, 3,000 passengers and 1,000 crew members on that Carnival cruise liner Triumph are finally heading toward a port in Mobile, Alabama later today after an absolutely horrendous trip. Stranded at sea, little food, no electricity, long lines for whatever food there is, no toilet facilities, disgusting conditions overall since a fire crippled the ship on Sunday. Passengers will still have to head home once they get to Mobile to Galveston by either a charter flight tomorrow or those who don't want to wait any longer, buses tonight. Higher airfares are likely ahead for travelers if American Airlines and U.S. Airways manage to merge. They announced that merger today, creating potentially the world's largest airline in a deal valued at $11 billion. American's parent company is under bankruptcy protection, and a court will have to approve the deal. U.S. Airways shareholders and federal regulators also need to sign off on it. And also on Wall Street today, Warren Buffett is leading an investment consortium to buy the H.J. Heinz Company, the iconic company from Pittsburgh, $28 billion value. Secretary of State John Kerry is married, of course, to Teresa Heinz Kerry, whose family trusts divested all but 4%, we're told, of their stock back in 1995. Turns out it wasn't two housekeepers in California then who stumbled on that murder suspect, Christopher Dorner, in a Bear Mountain cabin. It was a husband and wife. The couple were bound and gagged when they came home by the former policeman and are now speaking out about their terrifying experience.
He's very insistent
4 or 5 times that he didn't have a problem with us. He just wanted to clear his name. He said, I don't have a problem with you, so I'm not going to hurt you.
And up next, military honors for private citizen Hillary Clinton. You're watching Andrea Mitchell Reports only on MSNBC.